Hey guys, just rebuilding my computer these days. I just wanted to kind of record this one to show you how everything is going. This is going to be the first part of the video. I'm just going to show you a few of the parts that I'll be putting in here. Some of them are going to be reused parts from my previous build, and some of them are brand new. I'll probably just go like right to left here more or less and show you how everything is going right now. So there's my reservoir. We're doing hardline liquid cooling in this build, so just a heads up. So that's the D5 Photon 270. It's from my previous build. I'm reusing this part. LED in the middle, and it's just a regular D5 Vario pump. Here we have my power supply, which I'm also reusing from my previous build. It's an EVGA 1300 watt G2. And I got custom cables from EVGA for those too. Here we have probably like one of the most important parts. I've got a RTX, sorry now, 3080 tough. That'll be putting a custom EK water block in. That's one of the parts that I don't have yet, the block for it. It should be coming in about a week or two. That's just some thermal paste that I'll be using there. I have a few other tubes of those. For the motherboard, I'll be doing NexXxoS ASUS Ultra, which I just got. We'll be pairing that with another part that I don't currently have, which is a AMD 5900X, which at the time of recording is coming out next week. So hopefully we'll be able to grab one of those. For the RAM, which you can see it's not actually in here, it's actually already in the motherboard, which I have in another corner over here. We've got 4 sticks of 16 gig G-Skill Trident Z RGB, a total of 32 gigs, so it's 8 gigs per stick, 16 gigs per kit, and 2 kits of those. For the CPU block, we're going to be doing an EK Quantum Velocity, also RGB, so it's going to be lots of lights in here. We got a few Alphacool 90-degree hard tube fittings here, and then a bunch of EK hard tube fittings here, all compression, and that should be pretty good. We're going for like a kind of chromed out fittings and kind of white and black everything. Here you can see a few of my old fans from my previous build that I'll be reusing in parts of the build that you won't be able to see, which I'll kind of explain in a bit. So I got two, these are noise blocker E-loops, 120 millimeters, I believe. And then for the fans that you will be able to see, we're going to be doing 6 of these LL120s from Corsair in the white versions, just to go with the theme. And we got a few other, actually I forgot about these. These are just the end caps for some of the radiators I'll be doing. Here you got some of my radiators. Doing double 120 radiators, so 2 of these. So they're 2 120 rads. And I also have a triple 120 rad in this box that'll also be going. We're doing acrylic hard tubes, which I'll be bending and putting in. And you probably saw earlier over here, I've already done a few bends as a test here. You can see some of them didn't go so well, and some of them are a bit better. This one's a bit better. I think this one's the best one that I did so far. As for the storage, I have a few already here, and this is just all storage that I'm reusing. You already see I already mounted 2 fans in the back here that you won't be able to see from the outside, so I'm just using my old fans. We got a 1 terabyte Caviar Black just for storage drive. And here we have, you might not be able to see them, I have an SSD under here. That's a Samsung 850 EVO, I believe, and it's matched with this one. And then I also have another 2 850 EVOs down here, and those run both in their own RAID 0. So these 2 are RAID 0'd and these 2 are RAID 0'd, just for really storage. And I'll also be doing, the last part that I don't have, I'll be doing a 980 Pro M.2, which will be on the motherboard, but I also don't have that ordered, just waiting on that to be released, really. And I think the last piece I got to show you right now is the case. I'm reusing the case from my previous build. This is a Lian PCO11. Their first model, I forget what they actually call it, but it's the model where the fans are actually in the front and they have this like 90-degree bend instead of being on the flat here, where the radiator would normally go. So you also notice that if this case only has a spot for 2 radiators by default. You have a radiator that goes behind these 3 fans here and another radiator that goes up here. But we'll also be doing a little bit of custom modding on this case, and we'll be cutting out a spot for one of the double rads down here with some fans under it. These 2 fans actually here, these will be pulling air from the bottom and going up, and then you'll have another radiator at the top pulling that air back through, and then the other triple in the back here. So should be pretty cool. I'll be test fitting things the next few minutes, so I'll be providing updates as I go. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Alright, so this is part 2 of the PC building right now. Right now I'm just doing some test fitting with the parts that I have right now. As you can see, we got like one radiator in, and I'm just putting the GPU without the water block in there. Have the motherboard just sitting down. It's not mounted to anything. First problem we had actually is that the I/O part here was slightly too big, and it was conflicting with this fan. But you can't even tell right now, but a little bit of shaving on that little corner of the fan made it fit perfectly fine, and now we got a good seal in the back and everything, and all the standoffs line up, so we're good there. Right now I'm just trying to plan out tubing runs, so as you can tell, I was planning on putting a fan back here, like that. Though, as you can probably tell, I have my tubing outlet with this radiator is right here. It's an X-flow radiator, so you get one outlet here, and the other outlet is actually on the other side instead of being on the both on the same end of the radiator. And flipping it the other way around would give me more problems because you'd just be stuck in the back corner down there. So what I'm going to be doing is that I already ordered new fittings, so I can do like a quick 90-degree turn and a little extension to get out of that corner, and then I'll just be putting the fan slightly lower, giving it just enough room and clearance for the tube to get out of there. And then we're probably going to do just like a tubing run that'll go like this, do 90-degree turn, and then another 90-degree turn right into the CPU right there. And then we'll probably have CPU to graphic card, and then what you also don't see is that the radiator in the back here is not here. So we're going to do from the GPU into another X-flow radiator, which the inlet will be out here. Actually, I have that radiator just sitting in the box over here. So you'll be something like down like that. So you have the inlet back here, and then it'll come out over on this side, and you can also, there's going to be fans under there, so it'll be a lot closer, but you also have to imagine that the EK block that I have for the GPU is one slot thick, so you won't have this triple slot cooler kind of taking up all the room. It will block these like 2 bottom PCI slots, though I intend to leave them empty anyway, and there'll be plenty of room like sideway wise. The radiator only goes up to about here, so you have plenty of room to run all the I/O cables and everything. Then the last thing I was trying to plan out was also the reservoir. So the reservoir, which is right over here, is actually be mounted. I had this on my previous build as well, mounted on the support piece that actually goes on the side of the case right here where the glass connects to. So this goes right here, and I have the reservoir mounted kind of floating on that. So this goes kind of something like this. Though right now you would see it say, oh, the GPU is just way too big that it'll hit the reservoir, which would be true. However, if you look at the EK blocks that they're going to be shipping out, is that the EK blocks kind of end right before this, right after this power connector. It has like a little thing that sticks out for the RGB, probably around here. But then this extra length here is not on that block, so it ends up being shorter than the GPU I had in here previously. So I'll have plenty of room as I had that reservoir mounted there before. And then I'll probably do something like having the tubes coming out of that reservoir and going into the back. You're going to see I kind of put in the shadow. I have a pass-through fitting right there, and I'll have 2 pass-through fittings, one there and another right there. And then the tubes will go into there to go into the back compartment where I have another radiator. And then that'll be soft tubing in the back, which I actually didn't show in my other video, but I have some soft tubing in previous equipment that I have down there. And that'll be, so it'll have one tube going from the pump into that first fitting, and the second fitting will actually be this outlet for this radiator will also go down into there. So that's what we're doing right now. I also haven't mounted anything into the front here, but I have those fans just sitting there. And we're just chugging along. I'll have another video to give another update later on.